Hey everyone, welcome to another video. It's been a while since I do not record any voiceover for my videos here in YouTube, but this time I decided to record this video and share with you guys why I decided to record a voiceover for this video specifically. 2025 has come to an end and 2026 already began, and the reason why I decided to do this video is that 2025 was basically the worst year of my entire life. And I'm not kidding. It was a really hard year. A lot of stuff happened, and a lot of things put me in a place where I could never imagine that I would be. But I'm gonna share with you guys a little bit on things that happened and why I almost quit art. Not entirely, but I almost quit my YouTube channel, my social media, and all the platforms that I've been working on, especially regarding my commissions and my freelance job as illustrator. Last year, I faced a very hard time. I lost my job, and I almost got evicted from the house that I was renting. But that was not a problem. The problem is that when you live abroad, when you are an immigrant, and you get your salary, of course, your salary sometimes cannot support you and your family. Depending on the country and depending on the job, your salary is able to only support yourself. Actually, that's not my case. I could have good salaries along the years. But the thing is that in 2024, something very, very bad happened to my employer in Germany. And because of some failures, they put me in a very dangerous situation regarding my stay in Germany, and because of that, I had to think for other alternatives in order to make money and in order to survive. And then a friend of my wife just said, "Okay, you can come to Portugal, and you can live with us in our house until you get a job, until you get a new life, until you start over again after this hard situation in Germany," which I'm not going to go into details, just to preserve names and so on. But basically, when we arrived in Portugal, we had no house, no job, and no money. So being a specialist, I mean, when I say specialist, is being a professional that has worked in areas that require specialization. It's being a privilege. But sometimes, as I mentioned, you find a job that doesn't pay you well and doesn't pay you the amount of money that you really deserve, or at least it's not the average salary that you should get doing what you do. So basically, I got a job, and my wife and I, we were able to afford a rent in a house. It was the first house that we actually found. But then things started to become like a snowball. My wife got a job, and she was threatened in the job that she got. And when I say threatened, it was like literally, physically threatened. A guy basically wanted to hit her, and she started to cry, and she called me, and I had to leave my work and go there and see the whole situation. And because of that, she stayed a little bit depressed for a couple of weeks, and she was not able to find any other job since then. Then the second hit came. I lost my job, and as I mentioned before, I almost got evicted from the house that I was renting. And then I tried to negotiate the rents that I was late on payment, and the landlord said, "Okay, you can split the payment in a couple of months." But the problem is that doing this, it was the only way to stay, in a house, to stay living accordingly, I would say. And the problem is that my wife didn't get a job at that moment, and then we were not able to eat for a lot of months. And when I say that, I am not kidding. I was able to pay the bills, to pay like the basic stuff, and the amount of money that left was basically the amount of money that we could basically eat sliced bread and butter and microwave popcorn. And that's what happened. We have been eating for a couple of months sliced bread and butter for lunch and microwave popcorn for dinner. And I'm not kidding. And I'm not playing the victim, not at all. I'm just sharing like what happened and why I'm recording the video. So that situation put me in a lot of, different thoughts about giving up my career, trying to, to pursue another career, trying to get other forms to make money. Then I've got an opportunity to create a course, an illustration course with a platform that they wanted me to, to create the course, to record the course, and they would take care of the advertisement and all the marketing, all the paper stuff. And that was one of the opportunities that I say, yeah, I'm gonna jump into it, and I'm gonna make a lot of effort to make it work. But the fact is that after a couple of months trying to add the course, especially in the US market, the course was a total flop. And then they gave up and they said, okay, we're going to split the partnership. And it happened even before the deadline that they put in order to make the minimum amount of money that they wanted. So that hit a little bit hard on me, and I said, okay, what can I do now? Then I lost my dog. My dog died in October last year, and that hit really hard, especially my wife. But my dog was really close to me. She was basically beside me, working from home like every single day. While I was painting and recording all the videos, she was beside me, and she was a really companion. And that was really hard to not to accept, because I accept the death. I know that it's part of life, but it was really hard to process everything, And being in that situation where I could not afford food, we basically had no food on our table. My wife couldn't find a job. I've lost my dog. And then the end of the year came with this total flop in my course. And moreover, I had my birthday on December 27, and usually people remember my birthday because it's really close to Christmas time. And usually a lot of friends and a lot of people from my family, they call me and they say, hey, Merry Christmas, and and during Christmas, of course, but on my birthday they usually call me to celebrate and say, hey, happy birthday, how are you, and all things. But this year no one called me. No one. And that was really awkward because, of course, it things doesn't have to do, they are not related to each other, but I started to think, man, things were so bad for me. I was so alone. I was so sad. I was so deep inside myself. I was so isolated that no one could see me. That I was kind of invisible for everyone. Even my family, they didn't call me on my birthday. And then I started to think, man, that's so sad, because I realized that when you are in your worst moment on your life, you really see who are the people who are with you. I'm not saying that they didn't call because they forget, because I'm pretty much convinced that they didn't forget. Like, everyone in the family couldn't forget that, one or two people, okay, but the entire family, like, that was the peak to me. And then I was really sad at that moment, especially on that day. And my wife has been so great, and she said, don't worry, it's just a call, it's just. And I said, yeah, but it's my birthday, I'm not pretending to be okay in a society that people, forget things. And what I'm saying is that it's not okay to not get any call on your birthday. It's your freaking birthday. You should get called. People should call you. Like, it's not okay to just say, oh, they forgot, or they are busy. No, they are not busy. It's end of the year. They are chilling. Like, people are doing nothing in that week. So the point is, I'm not a protagonist, not at all. But it was my birthday, we were expecting things happen, and nothing happened. And that day, from that day on, I look at myself and I said, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna change, and I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna start thinking about any other types of jobs or things to survive aside my job, which is a UX UI designer. Um, I'm gonna give up illustration. I'm gonna give up, my clients. I have a couple of clients that they often request me illustrations and stuff, and I was like, no, I'm done. I'm done. I think it is over. But one thing kept me going. One thing kept me alive. One thing kept me creating and painting and drawing and recording videos, which was love. Love for what I do, love for what is meaningful to me. And art is meaningful to me since I was born. I've been creating things, I've been painting, I've been drawing like for 40 years. And after a very bad year, I I look at the mirror and I saw a guy who was struggling to put food on the table to him and his wife. A guy who lost his dog and lost his job and was like broken. And then I look at my eyes and I said, man, you are worth it. You are the man. You can do that. Just keep going. Just do that because you love. Find something that you love and close your eyes and dive into that and be focused and go on. And this is one thing that I shared with a friend of mine, which is Mellow. He has a nice channel here. He's an amazing artist. It's Mellow Arts of the Round Table, if you guys want to check it out. And one day I told him, he was like struggling and saying, I'm struggling to create and do things. And I was like, just paint what you love. Don't make trends. Don't make drawings that, you know, that are part of a culture that, forces you to create specific things. Just create things that you love. If you want to create Lord of the Rings illustrations, do that. If you want to create Star Wars illustrations, do this. If you want to create Marvel or DC Comics illustrations, just do that. Do what you love. And I put myself in a place where I was about to give up my entire illustration career, I would say. But then I found myself thinking about what I love. I love to draw. I love to paint. I love to do things, even if I don't get views, even if I don't get likes. I don't do for the others. I do for myself. Of course, I do for my clients, but I keep doing that for myself. And I said, this is the only way to overcome this situation, to survive. This is the only way, to keep going and keep drawing and keep painting and keep, evolving and not giving up. So the reason I decided to record this video, it's not playing the victim, or it's not just saying, oh, I had a bad year. No, it's more like a message. If you're listening to this audio, if you are listening to this video and you're an artist, or even if you're not an artist, don't give up. Don't give up. There will be hard times. There will be great times. There will be times that you want to forget about everything. There will be times that will be very focused on doing what you love. But the thing is, keep doing what you love. Not for the others, not for the big audience, not for clients or not for money. Do what you love for yourself. Treat yourself well. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mind. Take care of your body. Take care of things that you love. And this year, 2026, I decided to take care of things that I love, which is drawing and painting. No matter if I have clients, no matter if I will get views, or no matter if I will get likes. I will put myself back on track. There will be a lot of other videos with gouache and watercolor here, but I decided to change a little bit my techniques. I'm gonna be focused on colored pencils from now on, because a lot of things I've been creating colored pencil illustrations and I've seen that I have more control with the pencils than with a brush. I can create more crispy details and things that I want to put on paper in a better way with colored pencils than with ink and paint. So that's why I'm changing techniques. So you guys will see a couple of more videos coming for the next months, which were programmed to enter in the next months with gouache and watercolor. But then you guys will start to see other different techniques coming up really soon on the channel. I'm not promising that I will record voiceover for the videos because I wanted to create content, but as I mentioned, life has been really tough lately, so I do not have time to record and you know, to voice over. I'm just playing rec on my camera and recording what I paint. That's it. But anyways, I wanted to say that I will be present on YouTube. I will try to be more present than usual. And last but not least, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you, my friends. Thank you, Mello, for helping me to understand all the situation. I wanted to say thank you to my wife if she's watching the video. I wanted to say thank you for all the supporters here in YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, for my clients. And I wanted to say thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting in the channel and the content that I create. And one more thing. If you are struggling with something, talk to other people. Try to see different perspectives. And don't give up. Keep going. Because life worth it.